Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. And first off, I just want to quickly mention again just the song Unholy Voices from the game Blood. When you just listen to the MIDI version, it's easy to dismiss it as something that's just goofy. And it's true. I mean, it's got the same theme that runs through the entire song. It just, whether it's low-pitched instruments just going da 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 don, da 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 don, or it's the high-pitched stringed instruments where they're da 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 don, and that goes all the way through the song. It sounds like it would be just nothing. But the more that you listen to the MIDI, the more powerful it gets, and the remixes, oh my God, is it a powerful piece of music. Thumbs up for that. And of course, front-loading your videos, hey, the whole, toss me a like and subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment, and it just be beautiful and awesome people. And I want to thank all my Patreon patrons, because they are beautiful and awesome people that are literally helping to keep me alive. What with the cost of everything in the world going up and the cost of rent, it is eating into badly my fixed income, and without everybody's help I would be hosed like a Christmas monkey. So thank you if you are a Patreon patron. If you'd like to become one, there's links to that in the video description, as well as a PayPal for donations, an Amazon wish link with stuff like pet food on it, and a post office box where I will open up anything on camera sent to me. Thumbs up for that, and hey, front loading over. Hokey smoky. Well, yesterday I did my Note Quest video, and Hokey smokes, did that video just not do well. Yeah, so thumbs up for videos that nobody watches. And when I say nobody, people have watched it, but it's gotten like a third of the views that my videos normally get, and I barely get any views as it is, so thumbs up. But that's fine. I mean, that's life. That's life. But I do want to talk about some other things. Like, first off, the video editor Filmora. I like the video editor. It is a powerful piece of software. It's gotten better over the years, and they have just recently gone to version 12. I cannot recommend it, even though, again, they've done me right, because I bought the software. Before they went to a subscription service, I have a lifetime subscription. To go from version 11 to version 12, you have to pay for it. I don't. I bought the lifetime thing, and so I'm automatically upgraded. But if you want to use any effects and plugins beyond the few defaults they give you, that's $20 a month. If you want to use anything beyond the bare default, that's going to cost you $20 a month. And if you want to use the software itself, that's going to be $70 a year. Yes, they have cheaper things if you're a student. There are programs for that, but you can't buy the software. You can buy bundles, but these are cost per year because you're buying a subscription. I can't recommend it because of that. I mean, that's $100. Well, that's $70 just for the program. And what's 2 times 12? 24? And that's, add a zero onto that, you're paying $240 a year for any effects to use. Excellent piece of software, though. You gotta get used to it. Some things are hidden, and they don't have a manual for the latest version, and even the version for the previous one ain't that good a manual. But if you muddle your way through it and fight with it, you can make it do pretty good things, even though only now have they gotten freehand masking. But they put in something basic like freehand masking, where you can draw your own masks. At the same time, they do things like adding AI cutouts and AI working on your audio to intelligently trim and resize it and resample it. So they put in all this mega stuff, and they finally put in a lot of basic stuff. So it's an excellent piece of software. I just can't recommend it because of the pricing. There's free software out there. You gotta Google it. Thumbs up. And past that, Oh yes, physical additions to my world. I have mentioned before how long ago, because of my various things like where I am on my personal autism spectrum, my ADHD, my depression and all that, physical additions to my world are easy to accept. And then I become dependent upon them being there. Like when I was going on walkies where I was walking on train tracks. Anytime something would be added to it, like somebody would leave a chair off to the side of the tracks, that became a part of it. And if the chair was missing, well, walking up to it, I would feel anxiety until I saw the chair. I have some pieces of foam board on the floor next to my little end table that I keep things on over here. The moment they fell, they became a part of the accepted landscape. I need to get those pieces of foam board off the floor. There's not much, but they're a part of my world. Physical subtractions are difficult to do. Additions become accepted instantly. Thumbs up for that. Past that, I finally have a whole bunch of Cryptid and Razor's Edge stuff that I'm hoping I can talk about for a time. Because on my walkies last night, I thought about way more than I could ever talk about in one thing. Something that I was thinking about this morning, though, is how do I even define what a cryptid could be? Because in my setting, the thing that is a common thread among cryptids, nobody has any clue it even exists. Because you have spider cryptids, like Sanyo, the spider, who's a gigantic actual spider, a naturalized cryptid born from spider parents. And then there are the human cryptids. They look exactly human, like Polly. But she's a light plant cryptid, and she devours humans before snacking. And so how do you connect them? And then there are the created cryptids, like Malik, whose started life as a statue. And through a ritual that tied the cryptid energy, that powers Malik. Malik is still a cryptid. And then there's the ghost type cryptids, where they're not even really a being. They are just an impression upon the matrix of the cryptid energy, a self-perpetuating, self-editing standing wave. They're not even really cryptids. They're not even really beings. The common thread is the cryptid energy that pours through one-way gates from the inside, and this energy is what activates all these extra-universal chromosomes and genes. Nobody has any idea this energy is there. You can't call them a species. You can sort of call them a people, but where's the common thread if you don't know the energy? Thumbs up for that. And so, yeah, it's like people are confused and frightened. And I was watching a video this morning about how in the old Western times in the US, like 100 and some odd years ago, there was a cryptid type legend where people were getting killed, and when they were showing up and people saw this stuff, they would see a flaming red beast, and there would be camel prints in the ground. And it became a cryptid tale of a skeleton riding a hellfire camel. Well, those are cryptids. There's one of those back then. And I talked with my therapist before. I had mentioned, with my cryptid stuff and all these energy, and the Razor's Edge stories. The Razor's Edge stories are stories basically of hope, because you can basically put two types of stories with all the fiction in the world. There is overcoming challenges, you do something, and then there's accepting inevitabilities. You're just getting used to something. Overcoming challenges, of course, is you go through the meat grinder and you come out the other side. It's a hallmark moment. You are better for the experience. Accepting inevitabilities is you go through the meat grinder. Now you're just crawling through the mud trying to find a hole to crawl into so you can lick your wounds while you wait for the end. In the cryptid world, there are no happy endings. There are no positive things. If you make the mistake of showing optimism, reality will be glad to step in and painfully and violently teach you the error of your ways. And if you survive the lesson, and if you do, you will likely not be intact. You will certainly not make that mistake again. But at the same time, even in overcoming challenges stories, you have to accept inevitabilities. It could be you lose a limb, or you find out that you've got an illness at the end of these stories, where it's a bittersweet victory. And then accepting inevitability stories, any day you live through is overcoming a challenge. So they do bleed over. And in the cryptid world, yes, there are happy and friendly things that happen, as well as horrible and awful stuff happening on the Razor's Edge. As mentioned, there are a lot of human corpses scattered everywhere on the Razor's Edge. But there are so many people. It's a very tiny amount of people who get killed while they're out traveling via the glamours. But even 1/10 of 1% of a near infinite amount is still a near infinite amount itself. So even though, you could be wading through corpses every single day, and there are so many people on the Razor's Edge that it's never going to be anyone you know. So that part of it is, yeah, it's dangerous. People, being eaten is one of the top 10 reasons for death on the Razor's Edge. But even at that, it's not so bad that everybody is just vanishing on a daily basis. No, about once every 5 years is when you have to, quote unquote, make a skill check to see if you're going to have to fight for your life. And I've mentioned before, you may have a fight for your life where you don't even know you're fighting for your life. It's a mosquito that wants to drain all your blood. Well, after about 4 or 5 drops, it's done. So that was your struggle for survival. And it may be that you'd have to fight off of like a raccoon type creature. There is, of course, the odds that you will come across something where just as you squash a bug with a piece of tissue, this thing's gonna squash you. So there's always that chance. Now, also, yes, the actual people themselves, the cryptids, they are a badly broken people that are searching desperately for some kind of stability in a landscape that is changing rapidly and violently underneath them. Accepting inevitabilities, they can't rescue themselves from these situations. These stories are about things that I have to deal with. I can't escape death. That's coming for all of us. My cryptids can't escape their fates. These are my ways of dealing with things that are hurting me. The acceptance of my encroaching mortality, I am working out through accepting inevitabilities through my cryptids. So, there is a big difference in focus. There are no happy endings, but at the same time, as I've mentioned, there is Reginald the werewolf who becomes accepted by everybody else in the cryptid world of Brookerton, South Carolina. So he has a positive thing, but a positive outcome for one person can be a negative outcome for everybody else, because after all, he does become more accepted by the community, which allows him to continue devouring human beings whenever he wishes. So thumbs up on that. Let's see if I have anything else. Oh yes, on that, I'd mentioned before that the cryptids are really being whipsawed hard, because for not just thousands of years or tens of thousands of years, but for hundreds of thousands of years, generally the life of cryptids has not changed, because we have not changed. Things really kicked into overdrive with the bringing in of railroad. At that point, our advance through life went like bam. because up until 1850s, horses and carts were the biggest use of mass transportation for thousands of years. Cryptids have been the same for hundreds of thousands of years. Now, humans have only been humans for about 200,000 years, but they've been evolving with us. These last couple generations, everything has been changing. I talk about the cryptids of Polly and her parents, Clausy and Alan. Their parents would never have worn any clothing at all. They would not have understood any reason for it and they would have been upset if you had tried to make them do it. Clausy and Alan wear Christmas clothing because they like the color and the patterns. They don't wear a lot, like a hat and boots, stuff like that, Christmassy stuff. Polly and her boyfriend Jimmy, Jimmy spends a lot of money that he makes at his part-time job as a mechanic, where he gets to work on and tune up his motorcycle. He spends that money on expensive boots, good jeans, high-quality leather bomber jackets, good quality t-shirts, and high-quality pomade so he can get that proper twist, I can't remember the name for the hairstyle, in his hair, because he just loves the image of Jimmy Dean. In fact, if it hadn't been for time, he hates the fact that he could never have met Jimmy Dean because he wanted to eat him. He loves him so much, he just wants to eat him, and he hates the fact that he could never have met him because he died back then. But he spends a lot of money maintaining his costume for when they go out among human people. Polly keeps her hair dyed black because her costuming is goth emo punk stuff, and she wears that by choice. And even though she looks upon human beings as just cattle, something to fill your belly, at the same time, because she is jealous of the stability that human beings have, she has human friends that she goes and hangs out with several times a month. Cryptids are very good at imitating people, and she is a light cryptid who can imitate a human perfectly. She hangs out with them. They go to see a movie, and then they go to a nightclub or a fast food place afterward, and they talk and they laugh and they do things, and she has fun with them, and then she leaves, and she would protect them if she could, but they're still just cattle, and the cattle are there to keep your belly full. The generations are being whipsawed hard. Feral cryptids are dying out. Rural cryptids are having to adapt to a changing rural environment, and more generations are becoming urban cryptids. And urban cryptids, as mentioned, Clausy and Alan's parents are massively different from Clausy and Alan. And Polly, their child, is massively different from them. Polly and Jimmy are in the middle of the latest generation of cryptids, where the light cryptids are more hungry for human meat than the dark cryptids are. And what is the next generation of cryptids going to be like? Who knows, but it's going to be pretty different. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, well. So we have Pinball Evan. It's nice to talk to you on Facebook as well, and thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. Cake, thumbs up, thank you. I spend way too much time doing my editing on the solo RPG stuff, but it's so much fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you much. Good to see you. And then we have Adrian XJG. Thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. I have fun with those things. There's Jesse Koskinen. Greatly appreciated. And you can barely tell looking at my leg that I even had cellulitis. It is that healed up. It is a very good thing. There is Metal thumbs up, thank you. There's Floramu, greatly appreciated, and good to see you in the comments. JAYY, thumbs up, thank you very much. And biology is cool. I love science stuff. There is Danamon, thumbs up and thank you. Chris, not the other Chris that normally comments, but a Chris. Then there is Shinra, good to see you in the comments. And then there's this Chris, good to see you in the comments as well, thumbs up. And then we have RJ Mitchell, good to see you on Facebook as well, and on Twitter. And then there is Ben B, thumbs up and thank you. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. And that is it. 14 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated each and every one of you. Get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people, and that is appreciated to no end. Thumbs up for that. Well, it being a weekend, I'm just going to take the day and all that easy. And we're dealing with the radiant heating in our rental place is just going nuts again. It is super hot in this house right now, and it is not hot outside. But wherever you are, please take appropriate precautions for your situation and location. If people are getting sick because of illnesses, especially with the Kofefe bug surging again, please just take appropriate precautions for your situation and location. You don't need to get sick. You don't need to make others sick. You don't need to end your life. You don't need to end anybody else's life. Same thing with physical stuff. If people are getting injured, killed, anything like that, try to avoid that area. That would be smart. And of course, it really doesn't matter though. If you're out walking at night through the fog and echoing through the urban landscape, you'll hear that mournful howl of the bus horn, that bus with your name on it. Just hunker down, prepare for impact, and hope it doesn't hurt too much, because your corpse is gonna get smeared. And you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is a very good thing.